Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you in the Severe Weather Network Center. We just have a tornado warning down here in parts of Arkansas, and we'll kind of have to watch this in case this would kind of move into parts of Duncan County pretty soon. So let's go right to radar and we'll sort this out for you. This is a tornado warning in effect. This goes in effect to parts of we'll zoom into the warning. I'm a little concerned this moves into Taylorville and Union City, so we would probably want to have to switch gears in a little bit. Severe thunderstorm tornado warning goes in effect for south central Poston County and central Arkansas, western Mississippi, Arkansas, south central Lincoln County, central Arkansas at 5:41. Doppler radar indicated severe thunderstorm producing a tornado was near Tuscaloosa, north. Hazardous tornado and quarter-size hail. So take cover now. We'll zoom into the warning, and you could just see here, starting to get some pretty decent tight sheared. Wind shear is going to be the problem today with this whole system. You get winds. You really get winds blowing out of this whole system, so that's where you get a very strong upper level wind shear with this. So this is a tornado warning that goes in effect, and I'll put a pause on this in 2 rounds about 6:30. So if you live, and this is packed into some of my areas, what we'll have to track: Union City, Dyersburg, be ready. Richland, be ready. Hitman County, if it holds together, you need to be ready. We got another tornado warning for parts of for Cross County down here. This storm could produce a hail the size of quarters. So we'll zoom into this, and yeah, gosh, goodness, tight couple right there, right, starting to have a little tight notch there. Anytime you get the notch, you get an indication of rotation. No debris, but yeah, this storm over here by Blairsville area down here in Kentucky, this one has a little bit of debris with this, folks, so you need to be shaking shelter now. Get centered, go to a storm shelter now. This storm is very tight, and maybe it's trying to spit some debris out of that storm. You got to take this storm very seriously. So I know we had tornadoes in the deep south the other day, but we got to take this very seriously. So tornado warning continues about 6:30, and that's going to just move into Dyersburg, maybe Union City. We already had some damage down here in Kentucky earlier, and Nashville, and these storms are going to move into the Kentucky area. Let me check the chat just to see what things look like. So just bear with me for a second. I got to check here what we got going. Just a second. Alright, we still got that tornado warning in place. So far, no confirmed report of one on the ground yet, but it's moving into a strong environment. So, like I said, we'll continue to keep your eye on that one. If it moves in parts of Mississippi or parts of Duncan County, and we'll probably want to have to go into wall-to-wall coverage because so I'm at a different. I'm in a different chair today. So, all right, starting to get a new storm right here by Charlie Value area. This storm is giving me signs, some pretty decent signs of rotation. So if you're in Charlie Valley and the storm, you need to be seeking shelter. You're under a tornado warning. And that storm's giving me signs, some pretty decent signs of rotation. So you got to seek shelter immediately. Duncan County, you're not under no warning at the point. Does it mean you will go under one? That is a possibility. If it continues, I'm going to check one storm in Illinois. It could give me some strong signs. This storm in Illinois, if it holds together, it'll continue to move towards Centralia. If that continues, a new storm over here is trying to get an act together in Wyoming. That still storm doesn't have no wind shear. When we check the hail, it's starting to grow, so we could be getting our new severe thunderstorm warning, getting ready to move to Iron County, Missouri. When there's warnings, Missouri will continue to bump up the Illinois storm watch. But right now, I want to try to hold off best we can with that. So tornado warning continues for up to quarter-size hail with the storm. So if you're in Dress area, if you're in Keiser area, you need to be seeking some shelter. Looking for some wind sheared. We don't really have any in place right now. But let me pull up the.
West of Memphis is probably going to go shoot.
So I want to try to look around here. Looking at the chat, make sure nobody else is saying we could get something like this. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Folks, we've been having lots and lots of hail lately. Hail's going to be our concern tonight, as we could see some very large hail that could cause some damage. So if you live in these areas, most of Southern Illinois, you're okay right now. I'm going to check velocity off. You guys are mostly okay. No warnings yet, but that could change as these stronger cells are developing in Missouri. They're producing some severe thunderstorm warning out there, and these storms could produce $250 size hail. That warning has got canceled, but I'm reading all the hail reports are coming in. New warning effect for Taylor County. We'll take a look at the storm up here. The storm could produce at 556 severe thunderstorm located over Taylorville, moving at 70 miles an hour. 60 miles of wind gusts and hail the size of quarters. So this storm, look at here. Gosh, it really has some potentially of some very large hail in Taylorville. So that is some very large hail in Taylorville. So definitely make sure you're indoors on that storm. Tornado warning continues. And it still looks like it could produce some very large hail too with that. So that needs to be kind of watched just in case things get out of hand. Right now, I'm going to put the thing on pause just in case we're continuing to have storms. If we do get a new tornado warning, we will pop on. All right, good evening, everybody. I think we just have a confirmed report of a tornado on the ground right now, so we're gonna have to switch some gears right now. Let me get the boss right. Let me get Isaac on right now. All right, folks, we've got a confirmed report of a tornado right now, and it's rain wrap, so we've got to take this really seriously. At 6:06, a confirmed tornado was located near Towers, and let's see here, just a minute. South Central near Dyers, moving or 7 miles southeast of Livingston, Mooneystown 25. Hazardous, damaging tornado and quarter-sized hail. Weather spotters have confirmed at 6:03 a rain-wrapped tornado crossing Highway 8 180. So, folks, you got to take this very seriously. Get centered, get covered now. This is a rain-wrapped tornado, folks. You're not going to see it coming. So, please take cover now. This is going to be a visible tornado crossing 118. You got to get sheltered now. You got to get out of the way. So we'll zoom in. We already had a report of a tornado, of a funnel cloud. So this is a decent backward C, and that's how we always determine a very tight couplet. This is very tight. This is a very tight rotation right there. You got to seek shelter now. Get centered. Get covered. Don't worry, Isaac's coming in with me in a little bit to help me out here, and he's going to assist us pretty soon with me. You got to get centered right now. That is a very tight couplet. So you just joined us now about almost 6 o'clock. We're tracking tornado coverage, and this is one of them. You got to take seriously. Just reading some reports coming in. And some of these tornadoes are going to be rain wrap. I'm concerned that we could get some in parts of Union County too. Kentucky. We're going to have to, not Kentucky, but down there in Union City could get it. I mean, we're going to have to watch that. Because if that decides to move that way, we could get some more rotation. So just checking the computer. That should maybe say part of these sails are moving towards the area. So with another supercell by that, so we'll pull up the thing. That is some very tight rotation right there. So folks, you got to seek shelter. Put a baseball helmet on you, bike helmet. That's going to help yourself protect yourself from flying debris. We have a tornado warning, and this is a rain-wrapped tornado. You're not going to see it coming, and there's very little debris ball, but this is a storm that it's just going to be like a bunch of wind coming in, and you're not going to see it coming. So I know we went through this a few months ago, and we went through this a lot, but you know what? We just got to have to take this very seriously again, because this is a tornado, could be on the ground. So if you don't listen to me and Isaac today, you could die from these. These are rain-wrapped tornadoes. You're not going to see it coming. This is a very tight couplet. And this is like gate-to-gate sheared. It is very tight rotation, so you got to take it really seriously. Even Dyersburg, be ready. The storm's coming towards you. Martin, it might be coming at you too. I mean, we're going to have to watch these. New tornado warning to the south of that area, and that one still has potentially of producing quarter-size hail. And anytime you get that backward C like that, that is an indication of very tight sheared. So we got a tornado warning, and that goes through 6:30. And this one is still confirmed on the ground. So it's a potentially rain-wrapped tornado. You're not going to see it coming. Checking our tools real quick. Just wait. If you live in Wilson area, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. Or anybody in this polygon needs to be somewhere. Get low, get centered, get cover. Mobile homes are not going to be safe. This is why the first alert action day is going to be empty for some counties, because these storms look very strong and very intense. And these streak cells, this checking up north here, no rotation. That's not been really a rotation threat up here today. I mean, could we get one? Yes. Anytime you get a lot of separate cells, you always have that chance. But I think these are always producing like 60 to, we already have 70 miles of wind with some of these storms. We'll take a look at this. This is a damaging tornado, a confirmed tornado. So, folks, we have a confirmed report of a tornado. Anytime you get that backward C, like me and Isaac always say, that is gate-to-gate sheared. That is tight. So this is a possible damaging tornado on radar. You got to take it really seriously right now. Get to a basement. So we gotta watch these cells really closely. Right now, I'm gonna check the chat room. See if anybody decided to post anything. Looking at clouds here. All right, Isaac. Are you there? Just again. All right, you there?
Yes. Give me one
Sorry,
second.
I clicked you. Okay.
Okay. Should have audio input, and
I can hear you.
all right, nice. All right, default speakers, communication there. All right.
What is that noise?
Give me 1 second. It's oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm trying to patch myself through the external mic. Oh, I'll just not mess with that right now. There we go. Yeah, just see what we got across the board here. All right, I'm just gonna share here. Following that circulation a little bit closely here into the Osceola area, I'll show you. Oops, I've been fetching the wrong information there. But yes,
it's been having a backward C.
Report here of rain wrap tornado. There looks like it is going at this rate is going to be tracked right down. It is tracking northeast at about 25 per hour. This track will take it into the Osceola area, south, right around Highway 61, south of Highway 140 there. Within the next, just I'm going to put a track on this here near Marie, tracking northeast at 25. So about, I was going to say, tracking towards Osceola here by about 6:30 p.m. Maybe shortly, just for a few minutes. And definitely should be taking your tornado precautions. Also, following this cell here, looks
get
like
centered
you got
and get covered.
A little bit of an inflow, not to attack, some weak rotation there. But
it's a backward
again,
C,
looks
Isaac.
like for the most part, we're for the most part with this cell here, rotation appears to be broad. But I think at the low levels, we've had several reports of wall clouds. So, I mean, obviously, this is not exactly the base of the storm that we're seeing here on reflectivity or the velocity data here.
No.
Once again, this
Yeah.
just, but again, we've had
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna.
multiple reports tornadoes earlier, and yeah, we've had.
Yeah, I got some damage reports coming in. I mean, I'm gonna switch gears for a second.
Okay.
All right. I got some damage reports up towards your way, Isaac. I got some damage up there towards we're starting to get 65 mile and 70 up here. This is up here kind of close to Taylorville, Illinois. Then we had 60 miles of wind up here by Taylorville. And large trees are down also too.
Reports of
on
damaging
roads.
winds in and around here. Yeah, I was going to say, up there in Taylorville, again, we've been following that cell fairly closely there in and around the Taylorville area. We've had several reports of hail and damaging winds with that same cell here. And the way it's tracking now, east-northeast at about 50 plus miles per hour. It still has a rotating updraft with it, but the track here from the Weather Service will take it into sections of Douglas, northern Coles County, just north of Mattoon towards Tuscola here, south of Highway 36 here, heading into, again, they have it warned until 7 p.m. So after 7 p.m., you folks in Arcola and Hinsboro will, give or take, will be impacted by this severe warning cell.
Well, this storm
and we've had
hit Duncan
reports
County.
of 60 to 65 mile per hour winds. I point out, again, for folks down in the, I would say Douglas, Coles County, East Central Illinois, probably in the greatest threat of severe storms at this point in time. I will point out this cell right here looks like it's tracking. This is still tracking into environment. I think there's obviously we have weak wind shear with this. At least a low level directional shear with everything we're seeing up here is fairly weak. So if anything, again, the tornado risk by all means in Illinois here is fairly low. However, I'll be following this cell here. Looks like again the temperatures. Yeah, again the temperatures and dew points are in the 50s ahead of this, according to the latest observations here coming out of Lincoln, out of Jackson, and here in Springfield. So if anything, we're starting to get again all this. We're starting to get some cloud coverage likely ahead of us. So this cell will still be tracking into an environment. Maybe there could be some mixing, some instability. I mean, a little bit more.
New tornado
pockets where there could be some elevated wind shear. Yeah. So once again, I will point out.
We got another tornado.
We'll be watching this situation how it develops. Again, we'll point. Okay, we'll get there. But again, I will point out, you folks in Douglas County, just the rest of Central Illinois, please be on alert, especially along the I-72 there for maybe a few strong to severe storms. We're still monitoring the situation in East Arkansas. Looks like they have extended the warning into sections of Mississippi County, Arkansas, into Lauderdale County, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So this would be west of Ripley. Does not include the Ripley area along Highway 61, but still, folks, in Osseo. And looks like still, I think, according to radar and observation, I was going to say weather spotters still reporting tornado. Yeah, I was going to say Ashes west southwest of Wilson. So this is still likely on the ground, but no.
I got a report to pass along to you.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a debris thing right there. Yeah. Yes.
I got something to pass along to you. On Channel 12, Brian Aller saw a report of a semi blown over along I-55 south of Blytheville a few minutes ago.
Blytheville.
Though it has weakened in, but the cell produced a tornado. The time it moved east.
Yeah, I was going to say we've had spotted reports of funnel clouds here in Blytheville, possible to go along Interstate 55. I will infer with what's being reported there by local media and broadcasters across broadcast media in the area. Possible tornado east of Blytheville, Arkansas. No confirmation of injuries at this point, but it's possible again, just hearing some of the reports from again what we're seeing now. But look at what we have going on down here. Like obviously the tornadoes crossed east of the interstate, and this will be taking
Switch back to
the latest track here from the Weather Service will take this just south of towards the Grider area. These are mostly rural. We'll be tracking over the Mississippi River again, and to some of these more rural communities here in Lauderdale County, Tennessee. Again, just being in close proximity to all this still would keep it close, just again, be in your safe place. But again, just be very be very careful because there could be a little change in this track. Will take it closer into Osceola, and again, these could be there could be multiple different smaller debris signatures. And again, I will stress we have two different areas where there could be some circulation.
Yep, I see something right
further
here.
aloft.
I see something right there, Isaac.
Okay, yeah, I'll show you what I'm following on here. The possibility of a multi-vortex tornado here. This will be closer towards Osceola. See, we have two different areas of rotation here and one right here. This is going to be taking it towards Highway 61, just south of the Osceola, Arkansas area here within the next 5 to 10 minutes, probably a lot sooner than that. But I want to show you what we're seeing here on the CC. The scan before that, see, we have a possibility of a multi-vortex with that. So two tornadoes again. It has been confirmed. Power flashes with all this tracking across I-55.
So that ain't good, folks.
Power flashes. But again, the good news is these are mostly rural locations. But I would still
back in motion here, folks. Again, you got to get shelter now.
Yeah. Well, again, I will point out anyone in like Osceola here. This could again small adjustment in storm motion and the vectors with that. Small changes in kinematics would take the parent circulation. It could go much closer to Osceola here. Again, within close proximity, this tornado would probably be south of there the way it's currently. But I do want to stress, again, even if you're further away from a little bit further away from the parent circulation, like you folks in Osceola, again, you'll probably still experience some very high winds and large hail potentially, but also you could get some lofted tornado debris, like anything that's out here. You never know. That could be, that's I think this scan right here. This is a significant indication of larger debris being lofted, and the looks like not as much with that. Still note this area of what definitely could be tornado debris here, just a broader area, just broader, not as tight, but it is still within very close proximity to Osceola. So while this won't be a direct hit for the community of Osceola, still Grider, some of the rural locations here along Highway 61 in Arkansas. are still going to be impacted by this. And again, it looks like the inflow signature, what I'm seeing on here, looks like the inflow signature near the ground is definitely tightening up. So while this is an indication here, just what we're seeing on radar, this is not the base of the storm. This is much further aloft. What you're seeing at the ground, again, we're seeing something tightening up here on reflectivity. So that could indicate, again, definitely still, there definitely could be tornado with this still. But again, looks like the rotation
Yeah, folks, you
could
got
be
to shake
tightening
shelter
up
now. This is a
below this
tornado.
altitude. Well, again, we
All
don't
right,
know
Isaac,
if it's
here's
on
some
the
new
ground
information.
right now or not. Yeah, so
Well, I got some
Will
information to pass along to you.
campaign reports of tornadoes.
At 6:22, a spotter reported a tornado causing power flashes 2 miles southwest of Wilson. So, folks, you got to shake shelter now. This storm is producing power flashes. This is on the ground.
Yeah, well, once again, this was about 10 or so minutes ago. See, these spotters were seeing all the power flashes from a safe distance. You can tell this is Wilson, and the tornado tracked right around here. So this was, they viewed the power flashes from a safe distance about 2 miles away. But I will point out again the reflectivity, the inflow signature with this, or the distinct hook. We got a distinct hook echo now, and again looks like a significant indication of broad rotation with this. But again, we have definitely that signature here that will be approaching brighter, and the possibility of what could be one, maybe two different. And now look again. Definitely look at.
Just got some reports,
now
Isaac,
the
coming in again.
Is much. This is in close proximity to Osceola, so you guys should definitely be taking your precautions. Again, this is in definitely close proximity.
Get center,
so
folks. You got to take cover now.
Could still impact Osceola proper. Yeah, but once again, the
folks, we got some new.
Will be tracking the southern part. What's up? Yeah, new damage report.
Got some new reports coming in.
Yeah, right here.
Semi truck been blown over off I-55. You got to be. And we had this one report of a tornado, a funnel cloud with the storm. But this storm is. Let me pull up the velocity.
So
This
is the. So, is this the same report passed along by that same meteorologist earlier? Or was this a separate report of a tornado in Blytheville and another one down here, another local storm report? Yeah, this was about 8 minutes ago. Again, this is probably a delayed report, but still not necessarily relevant to where this is. A tornado 8 minutes ago was down here, but a spotter was viewing it from up here. So again, sometimes you're getting these reports of tornadoes in these areas. So there was not a separate tornado right here and right here. This was the same tornado. And now the rotating updraft is strengthening.
So if you live in
really starting to cycle up. So
if you live in
looking at radar,
it's coming at you. So if you live in Dyersburg,
yeah,
you need to be shaking.
Dyersburg, Tennessee. I will point out if this continues to track in the
look at here
and continues to really tighten up and hold together, this will be in Dyersburg within the next hour and a half or so, maybe much less, a little bit less than that.
Think about where you want to go, guys. Think about where you want to go.
Yeah, now look at the debris signature just a minute ago. Again, see how it's kind of sporadic, and we're starting to get in close proximity here to Osceola. So while this wouldn't be a direct hit for any of these communities just in the vicinity, I would still say Osceola is still, again, look at the inflow signature and the really tight hook echo we're seeing here with that. Once again, this has a real, again, the semi truck incident down here. Is this a set? I was interested in knowing, was that the same report here from Blytheville, or was this a different report? Because
that's what I got from Town 12. I got that.
I think that was in Kaiser. Yeah,
Well,
I think it was this one they were referring to.
I got the report from
issued that.
I got the report from Channel 12. That's what Brian Aller said.
Yeah, and again, this is
the report of a semi truck
yeah,
going over.
this is the cell that we're most
take a look at this, Isaac. We got more storms to track. Look here.
Yeah, I was going to say there's another cell we're monitoring. Yeah, I was going to say those are severe warnings there, and some a lot of force there with that. So I mean, definitely some large hail.
Let's see. Look at here. We got a large distributed dangerous tornado again, Isaac. Down here
okay,
in
that's following with
Louisiana.
This here. Yeah. Louis. Oh, is this in Texas, Natchitoches, and Rush?
No, again, Louisiana.
This one right here, okay? They are
let me read it to you.
Okay, again,
6:32.
Large
they confirm in Large and tornado.
Yeah. So again, the good news is with this, again, see how large the debris. You got a lot of debris with this, but again, it's hard to classify because there's a lot of clutter, and this is probably out of reach from some of the. Yeah, I was going to say from Shreveport. I'm going to download some additional data with that, but again, this is where the debris signature is right there. So again, in relation to rec law, again, these are mostly predominantly rural areas, but again, along Highway 80 Fountain and Laneville, again, I will point out, I was going to say, these are mostly smaller communities. So again, the damage threat with this is considerable. So just south of Rusk and some of these other areas within here, definitely we'll keep a close eye on this. But again, there's not a lot of people joining us from this particular polygon, but we will continue to follow the developments here and other press headlines. But again, definitely a very tight debris signature with that one. But again, I've been paying very close attention to up here. Looks like the broad still say doesn't really look like it definitely may recycle before it tracks into Ashport, but not really seeing any indication here. Again, the rotation's a little bit weaker with that cell in Arkansas. But I want to take this moment to address the rest of you folks in like Arkansas, some of these nearby states as well, because you can definitely tell that a lot of these storms have tracked into an environment there where there's a lot of enhancement there with the trough, and again, a lot of road gaps we're seeing with these. So I mean, definitely we're in the environment here that's primed again for some of these intense supercells that definitely appear to be capable of, again, any mode of severe weather. This cell down here in particular has had a report of up to golf ball sized hail now tracking into sections of south central Arkansas. But you folks in Little Rock, we've had some hail reports, and now some additional warnings that are popping up here. But again, I will out. This cell in particular has had reports of, again, ping pong to golf ball hail. We do have cells here east of the Little Rock. But the good news is I think the threat is mostly over for you folks in Little Rock. For some storms tracking to your south. Cell here, we're keeping a close eye here. That will track into Texarkana here. This would be again, you folks in
very tight storm down here in Dyersburg, down here in not just tight.
So,
folks, this is moving to Dyersburg. This tornado warning is, so you definitely got to get ready. Just figure out where you want to go. That's the best thing to do right now.
Yeah, Dyersburg not tornado warned at the moment. And I want to point out again, just looking at some of the data here coming out of the Memphis radar here. The rotation is broad, but it's weaker. The good news is the rotation has weakened somewhat. Still a mesocyclone indicated here on radar. So That's an indication it could very well be recycling, and maybe an area where it could be starting to tighten up again. But I mean, again, it's really hard to make that distinct judgment with that. So, but still, I'm still definitely a well-pronounced hook echo with that. Again, if it does hold together, this will be tracking into some of these communities here within the Lauderdale County. Within the next, it looks like Dyersburg still has a little over an hour, but again, if this does hold together, again, this is still in a good area of wind shear. So I mean, again,
Yes, it
looks
does
like
have
a
pretty
lot of
decent
that would
wind
be
shear.
great. Again, what I would be interested in seeing here, I'll pull it up here in a minute, is just some of the mesoanalysis. See if we have an upward trend in some of the low-level shear holicity, or if it's kind of stable, or maybe a little bit lower. Because again, we want to see how I would be interested in seeing how this storm will behave as it tracks into some of these other communities here in West Tennessee. Because again, we've had several reports of tornadoes with this storm. I cannot answer the question whether there will be a tornado in Dyersburg in an hour. You know that you can't be precise about the future with that. You've got to make inferences as to again how these storms are behaving, and you know it's been tightening up at times, but again I will point out again we've had some points in times where it has tightened up. This storm may have produced multiple tornadoes. Again, from this spotter's vantage point and these spotters' vantage point right here near where it says Marie. This is an unincorporated community in East Arkansas here. We've had several reports of power flashes. So, I mean, there could be, again, near the interstate, I would be interested in seeing if there's like, you know, how there's like some power, some main feeder lines that serve some of these underserved communities here. There could be a main feeder line. If that gets taken down, there could be thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people or residents that could be without power as well. Possible, yeah. But I mean, again, that makes it all more important. And this cell has also produced a separate. I think this was the same cell that produced a tornado here in Sherry Valley. Here, this is the same storm that produced this tornado right here. It was predominantly rain wrapped. Still. Again, looks like it's not. You can see how there's a mesocyclone kind of right up here. Again, this is the base reflectivity. When I look at composite reflectivity, you can see how further you have. I think you have a storm top right up here. This is where you're likely seeing some fairly large hail. And down here in Osceola, I think that's where that hail core was right over Osceola. So that's where you saw. Again, this is probably where you have what we call the rain-free base of the storm, where there's a lot of rising air. Maybe there could be an indication just right around here. There could be the rear flank downdraft goes from the storm top and kind of wraps around. Again, that would be just the intense winds with the tornado. Again, the rear flank downdraft normally produces the strongest winds within the tornado. But this is the forward flanking downdraft is where you likely will end up seeing the intense heavy rain, the large hail. That's what we're likely seeing here. Indication of what could be hail. That could be as high as quarter size with this. So if anything, this could again for embedded damage.
Here's what my marker shows.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Latest update here. Yes. Again. 6:33 tornado report of near Osceola at the time. Obviously, it's this one. They use the confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado wording. Whether it's confirmed large and extremely dangerous right now, still debris with this.
All right, folks, we got a large tornado
this could all be debris
now.
Yeah, but once again, that was as of 6:35 p.m. Again. Definitely looks like still the inflow match, and this has been tracking. I'll show you this right
Moving
here.
At 30 miles an
hour. That PDS warning off. See, look, this was like this was again probably a multi-vortex tornado. So like the velocity scan with this one, obviously this was an earlier scan from about 12 minutes ago. I'm just estimating the amount of time, but you can see two different tight areas of rotation. Like one could be up here and one could be down. What we're seeing, you can see some of those darker colors. Obviously, this is an altitude that is not equivalent to the base of the thunderstorm. Again, the base of the thunderstorm, that's where you're likely seeing the strongest rotation with all this. I will point out, again, that's what's being picked up from the ground. You won't know there's a tornado unless you're seeing debris like this on radar that's being lofted to an altitude that the radar can return all this data back to it, or if spotters are reporting it, which spotters, like if you view it from a safe distance. So like, again, at the time, this was like several minutes ago, new local storm report, by the way. But yes, looks like a report of a small mobile home tipped over, possible tornado. Yeah, that is likely caused by all this. Yeah.
Wow.
This again, mobile home has been tipped over. This latest storm report that has came in. But once again, this is
no.
This is a very large, if anything, this was a pretty strong tornado to loft a mobile home. Or I don't know if it's been lofted, but all we know is it's been tipped over. Had this been lofted,
folks, you gotta take this seriously.
Again, this could be like, like what you hear about mobile homes being tipped over. That's at least minimum, probably EF2. Just guessing. Again, just given the debris we've been seeing here, again, you can guess just looking at some of this data that's being returned by the radar. But I will point out, okay, by the way, new local storm report, water spout over Mississippi River. So this tornado, this scan's old.
Okay.
Now this is the new scan. Again, water spout. So obviously when it tracks over water, over the Mississippi River, it's a water spout. So again, that's obviously water spout, and then it becomes when it crosses the river. But again, still debris with it. So that's still tornadic debris. But once again, now looks like the rotation is broadened out again. So it's when it broadens out, it's still rotation by all means. But it might be a sign that, there's times where it's weakening and times that it will recycle. So again, there will probably still be some room for all that to happen within the next hour. Again, and if that becomes the case, then Dyersburg may end up being tornado warned. You never know. You don't want to rule it out. There's always that possibility. But I'm gonna pull up some of my.
This storm is very tight. This is very tight. In Kentucky, this storm is very tight.
I'm going to show you some mentality. This is always something that I'm interested in seeing. If maybe wind shear and surface case, the upward trend just ahead of these particular storms. And by the Weather Service here, interested in seeing how these storms behave, as particular that cluster of storms. I storm mode. Think of East Texas, Northern Louisiana, and Tennessee. And again, I will point out vicinities. Again, Little Rock proper, not really seeing much of a severe threat at the moment. But again, areas in central southern Arkansas, maybe the southern areas south of Little Rock. Again, there's a lot of folks that watch us again across, Sea Alley. People call it that. It's not anything that we officially refer to as a region because. I will point out Tornado Alley and Dixie Alley. Those are just traditional terms. We don't. I don't think meteorologists use them, often, because tornado alley. You know how people say it's been kind of shifting towards another area, and there's been a tornado drought recently in like what they call quote unquote tornado alley. Sometimes the ingredients you see that spawn tornadoes and things like that, they don't happen in a distinct area. And I mean, tornadoes are you like a majority of them would probably be found here in Tornado Alley. But I mean, if people say, they use that kind of terminology too much, like Dixie Alleys, where you probably will find all your tornadoes this year, or Tornado Alley, whatever. I mean, really, I think you'll probably find that a lot of your tornadoes happen, kind of in between, or like, just they don't always happen within those areas. So it's just, we don't want to always refer to those terms. Just my input with that. Again, everyone's different, and that's just, that's kind of following up some of those comments about the Weather Channel. So I'm going to be following the environment here with this particular cell. Obviously, we can see just the latest surface analysis here shows weaker storm relativity values, probably around 150. So that's still enough for, tornadic supercells, of course. But a lot of what we're seeing is it's not directly influenced by this particular concern with the wind shear. Sometimes we're seeing some speed or low-level wind shear in general. So, and you're also being coupled in with some of that surface heating. So, like, the temperatures have been really warm across like southern Illinois into like Tennessee, just a lot of the mid-south. But again, we're gonna see the wind shear if this kind of holds together, we still do have like, again, 150. Again, there's some embedded areas where it's like 150. You can see some numbers as high as like 200. So what I will say is that, again, looks like it's that cell will likely be tracking into an area where, again, there's still a little bit of enhancing with that wind shear that's in place, but it's going to be like sporadic. This is an environment where, a lot of what you're going to see, it's going to be sporadic. It's not going to be a tornado that essentially tracks over a long distance nonstop. So again, at some point in time, you may get some winds from further aloft. So like you get the jet stream or a jet streak here at, just maybe a kilometer or two off the ground. You're getting where there's some really strong winds. You can see that's advecting all of that moisture. And again, just, how some of these, all these winds further aloft driving a lot of this, advecting all this convective, and there's a lot of convective forcing with all this, and that's really enhancing the hail threat with some of these intense supercells. But at times the strongest winds from further aloft will mix in much closer to the ground, and that's what we're seeing, indicating here with that's helping to boost some of the winds closer to the storm base. And then you're all those strong, all those winds near the ground that help drive, where all that surface heating was coupled in with some of those winds that could be fuel for like inflow. So that brings all those warm, moist updrafts into these rotating mesocyclones, and then you've got rising here, that enhancing with that directional wind shear. And that's the environment where, again, you've seen all these tornadoes touch down across eastern Arkansas. We've had one possible tornado in Blytheville, but another one, again, down near Osceola. Again, that tornado has been in close proximity to Osceola. But, we've JD's had a lot, and some of us have concerns for, the folks in Dyersburg, just general concerns. Again, some of these more urban vicinities where more of our followers, the follower base may be located. But once again, I will stress again, we're again, just in general,
Isaac, I got something else to tell you again. I didn't mean to interrupt you again. We got a new tornado, and it's a large at 6:46, a confirmed and large, extremely dangerous tornado was located for Pill
Fort
Park.
Pillow
Mostly
State Park.
dangerous situation.
Okay, that's kind of
Weather
changing
spotters
gears
confirm
to
a tornado.
Okay, so JD, another thing I will point out, it's probably this new warning here, but this is a different storm. We've been kind of, again, there's not too many urban vicinities in here. It's probably not making a whole bunch of headlines, but again, we will be following with that. And again, just in general, for those on, you know, you got to have a local scale,
It can move into
source
Hitman
of
County.
receiving information. You got to have a local scale situation of receiving information, right? Because what we're trying to do, we're not trying to like jump on for each and every single tornado warning in the country. What I'm going to kind of follow up here for just a moment here. What we try to do here at USA Stormwatch, and we have questions about individual counties like McLean County, Livingston County. If I'm correct, again, those are probably questions coming out of Central. But I will also kind of be clear. Again, it's important to have multiples of receiving weather information. I will point out the severe threat in Central Illinois. I'm going to do my best to address all of our comments here. But again, Livingston County, McLean County, Central Illinois, I think the severe threat remains south. So I would definitely say like near I-72 south of there. And I'm gonna see what the National Weather monitoring here. Another severe warning cell in Bond, Clinton, Madison, and St. Clair counties. But looks as if the storm in north of Mattoon is not severe warned. Again, no showers and storms. You may like directly over McLean County or Tazewell County, Livingston County, Ford County, Champaign County. A lot of what you're seeing, the dark skies and just all the thunder and lightning, that's probably an area of what maybe further aloft. But I will also point out, again, you may see all the dark skies to your south. Those are probably the distant thunderstorms down towards Decatur or Mattoon. That's where we're seeing the stronger storms. But also, I will point out again, just what
new severe thunderstorm warning for St. Louis.
Okay, yeah, that would be the St. Louis area. This would be to the
North Central.
Again, look at the indication there is again the damaging winds, probably some hail well over quarter size with all this. This will be approaching some again. These are again some more urban areas. I will point out that are seeing this threat for localized and damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour at times. And again, I will stress again. There's that possibility. There's that hail core here in Glen Carbon, and this will be tracked towards Interstate 55. So again, this is a really intense hail core where there's really strong winds. So what I'd recommend again, these will be winds blowing, and these like semi trucks and high profile vehicles traveling along Interstate 55 north of Marysville and Troy. Again, these will be kind of like directly paralleling some of these or onsetting damaging winds from outflow winds from these thunderstorms. And why that concerns me is again just there could be a brief embedded wind gust that could be much stronger, as we've been pointing out with some of that very strong wind shear that we've been following up with. And sometimes you get those stronger winds, kinks of stronger winds from further aloft, mixes down at the ground, and you get these. And what we're likely seeing here is some strong outflow from these thunderstorms. That at times we've been just hinting at maybe some much stronger winds within here.
Yeah.
And I
think we just got some wind damage. I'm gonna pass along to you.
Okay.
Jane Spam
Oh,
post some pictures online of some wind damage in Huntsville, Alabama. Pretty bad wind damage. I'm
yeah.
gonna send it to your phone real quick.
We have some
Just give me a
friends
second here. I'll send it to your phone.
faces on the Spotter network here. You know, some people that have,
Here,
you
I
know,
think I sent it to your
been
messenger.
correspondence.
Look at here.
Okay, let's
I
see
sent
what
it
we
to your
have.
messenger.
All right, it's probably still going through, but yes, we do have some photos coming in. I could share it, but yes, is this coming out of the broadcast media, the down tree? Because definitely looks like, you know, the tree's down on a vehicle. So what that concerns for me is that obviously good news is people are inside,
That's in
they're safe
Huntsville.
more than likely. But I will also point out, did you say in
Another
Evansville?
large tornado.
Yeah, that's probably
No,
coming
this
out
is
of
down there in
Texas.
Huntsville.
This would be in Arkansas, right? Or heading into. Yeah, but I will
Well,
point out, yeah, so that, yeah, like, I mean, if you do have damage or anything to like your vehicles or your property or anything like that, again, it's always good to post it on social media, and then you can call your insurance
yeah, and we'll send it.
company to tell them that you have some damage, and hopefully, you know, you may have like minimum liability on like your vehicles, but I mean, for your home, again, like if you have a roof that's taken out, your insurance will likely cover that. So like to some extent, I will say. But again, for like vehicles, if you have minimum liability at the very least, or even if it's like, I mean, you would probably need full coverage. So like if your vehicle is just damaged in a thunderstorm or something like that, and it's all dented up, or it's like, I mean, without full coverage, or even probably with full coverage, it would probably be totaled in some cases where I
Yeah.
mean, the damage has, you know, the repair costs would exceed what, you know, the vehicle would be worth, and insurance isn't going to cover the whole thing. You know, like it's your responsibility to park your vehicle in your garage in that case.
So yeah, we got
But
a new
again, I
tornado
will
warning
point
down
out,
here in Texas. This storm down here is
yeah,
another.
yeah, still, yeah,
Let me
rotation
zoom
is
down to
fairly
that real
tight with
quick. We'll
that now.
switch gears just for a
Yeah,
second. I was going to show you, Isaac.
all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to jump on this real quick. But yeah, still some really strong outbound winds
At
with this cell here in
654.
Mount Enterprise. Yeah, so again, this has been in fairly close proximity to these areas. So again, the parent rotation or the mesocycle may be over here, but you may have a strong rear flank winds that might have tracked through Mount Enterprise in some of these locations. And I know we have a lot of folks on the Spotter network. Again, we'll see if we have anything official to report out of this. But yeah, some of these communities down here, yeah, still a debris signature with that. You know, I'm interested in seeing, you know, this was in fairly close proximity to, you know, some of these, you know, towns out here. And oh, that look at that. That is, if that is a debris signature, that would have meant like this town of Mount Enterprise may have been like a direct hit in some of these areas. I got, you know, there's a lot of blue on here, so that could be clutter.
Here's my radar.
And I
Here's
think
my
it's just
monitor.
with
Take a look at that.
because we're out of range on this radar. Okay, now I'm going to pay really close attention to this cell for our Illinois Stormwatch followers. Now there's a tornado warning in Bond, Clinton, Madison, and saying again, tornado warning in Bond, Clinton, Madison, and St. Clair counties. And I could probably give Reith Branson a phone call. He is within a mile of this area of rotation. Again, yeah, tornado warning here, local severe storm, capable of a tornado here. Some these are all inbound velocities towards St. Louis. There's a fairly big rotation, a couple that will be tracking into the St. Joseph area within the next east-northeast at 40 miles per hour. And I'm interested in what some of the spotters are reporting down there.
I think my weather alarm would just
your
went
NOAA
off,
weather
Isaac.
radio.
My weather alarm just went off for a tornado.
NOAA weather radio.
Tornado warning for St. Louis, Isaac. We gotta have to switch gears.
Yes, I have this tornado warning for Bond, Clinton, Madison, and St. Clair County. Yeah, it's probably going off on the Salem NOAA weather radio transmitter. This, the tornado warning is like
it went off on mine.
That transmitter. Yeah. If it went off on yours, the Salem NOAA weather radio transmitter, that tone alerts, that does not convey alerts to Hamilton County, or the Salem transmitter will not tone alert for McLean County, or the Hamilton County directly, rather. But again, it's good that you have like several other National Weather Service. There's one you have set to the KXI 5.2 transmitter out of McLeansboro, but there's the other one you monitor out of the National Weather Service St. Louis, the Salem weather alert broadcast. But yeah, that rotation is really tightening up, and you can see an intense downdraft with that. I'm going to reach out to one of our correspondents real quick, if you give me a moment.
Yeah, let me do the coverage for you while you do that. Well, folks, we've got a tornado warning for parts of Bond and South Central Illinois, North Central Madison County, and South Central Illinois, and parts of St. Clair. At 7:03, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Troy, moving at 45. Tornado and quarter-size hail. So locations include Heightland around 7:20, St. Rose around 7:25, Portland and Jamestown around 7:30, Beaver Creek around 7:40, and parts of Timberco around 7:45. So if you live in, so this is a tornado. So this includes Interstate 70 in Illinois between miles exit 21 and 52. Take cover now. This is a radar indicated tornado. We don't have a confirmed one yet, but this storm looks like it's tight by Troy. Isaac, this is very tight rotation.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you live in Troy, you need to be chicken shelter.
Yeah, I'm reaching out to Reef now. But yeah, he is in the path of that. It looks like, very tight rotation right on top of him. But yeah, that is, you can see an inflow notch with that. I'm really concerned about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I reached out to him. I still got to see if we do have any other spotter insight with that. But yes, I will point out, it looks like I think we lost you for a second. Either that or my internet's kind of giving out on me. But yes, another cell that I'm also a little bit worried about here and may have some signs of weak rotation with it.
See what they say.
Maybe an embedded area where there could be some So while this is a severe thunderstorm warning, this includes sections of St. Clair, Clinton, also Washington counties and South Central Illinois. Still a rough draft with this, so there is that definitely that possibility. Again, hail gusts greater than 58 miles per hour. Rotation here, where I'm seeing here with Roachtown, but this area of rotation there, or the most intense part of the thunderstorm will likely be, this will take it south of the Scott Air Force Base area, right here. You can see, Belleville, just south of Belleville towards Scott Air Force Base. Obviously, the conditions were clear there. And the dew point, the temperature was 73.
What about Ian? We need to tell him too?
Or Ian, is he in the path of this? I don't see his icon.
He lives in Woodland. I think he lives in I think he lives in Woodland, I think, Illinois.
Woodland, I think he would be based closer, yeah, Wood River, then South Roxana. This is where some of our other correspondents are based at, but they looks like Wood River, South Roxana are in the clear. But I think the most intense part of the storm is tracked a little bit further south of there. And yeah, TVS with this, obviously not a TDS. But yeah, TVS still indication, you know, the rotation is tightening up, maybe broadening out at times. Again, I think that's been pretty much a concern across much of the Mid-South
Yeah,
and the
it has
Mississippi
been the.
Valley, probably. So just my inference. Um, Again, it might have been tightening up and maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure, but you know, just at this point, I'll say that Mother Nature will do what she wants. But again, it's been tightening up. Possible inflow, right, or inflow, not sure, but this will be following pretty much wave 40. Again, St. Jacob, you know, Highland. I think Highland's a community of about 8,000 people. So this would be kind of thing Highway 90, even St. Jacob. These are like skirts, rural, more rural suburban areas. But still, I think that's where maybe you have some, you know, just something, you know, some more, you know, over the years, you know, St. Louis has definitely lost a lot of its population to its, you know, a lot of these communities used to be a part of St. Louis. They've been annexed, but you know, back in the day, a lot of people have moved more suburban areas, you know, because of the coal industry over the years. And now there's urban areas further away, like Metro East. I mean, it pretty much has become its own urban area in Illinois. You know, there's a lot, you know, like there's several, like, I mean, probably like
So,
500,000, maybe much more, probably millions of people in these areas. So that's something that concerns me, you
folks,
know,
if you're
just
in,
some of these more urban areas that could be
yeah, folks,
impacted.
if you're in the new
Not
tornado
that
warning up
this
here
is
in
a
Heightland
direct,
or St. Jacob
not
area,
the whole
seek
metro east
shelter.
area, but again, like Highland, Pocahontas, Greenville, Hookdale, Kaiser, just some examples of places that may be in there. I'm
If
not
Fairfield
gonna
Heights
kind of
in it, I got some
narrow
friends that live in there.
other areas in the threat, just severe weather in general. Like you know, it's always good to heed your severe warnings. Again, just sturdy building, site-built building if possible. Again, especially areas that are tornado warned. Again, it's good to just ride this out again in a small interior room basement. Have you know, non-perishables and stuff on hand, especially for
Yeah,
communities that might be in the direct path of this, like Jacob and Highland.
yeah.
Again, also make sure you
I
have a
got something to
helmet.
say,
Okay,
Isaac.
tornado warning now for St.
Yep.
Clair, Washington, and Clinton County. Tornado warning, Washington,
Okay.
St. Clair, Clinton
Yeah.
County. A tornado warning here. This includes Belleville towards Smithton along Highway 159. Again, tornado warning for Belleville, Smithton, also Muskota, Fayetteville,
Okay.
Venny, Oakville, DeMiansville, New Menden, Nashville, Illinois, not included. But again, a lot of Metro
Yeah.
East here under
Here's the
tornado
concern to me,
warning.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Hey, if it holds together, it would be moving in toward Jefferson County. If you in Jefferson County now, just be ready in case this warning would move toward you guys. We could be having a tornado warning for Jefferson County if it holds together, right?
Yeah, give me one moment. But yeah, so here's the concern about Jefferson County, Mount
Yeah, I gotta
Vernon
do.
area in
I gotta make.
particular. I'm not ready yet. Yeah, I'm working here with some. Yeah, I was gonna say, Jefferson County, Mount Vernon. I think this will remain to your north, this particular cell, but we're also monitoring some showers and thunderstorms further downstream. So again, while maybe instability and such might be on a slight bit of a downward trend, I severe threat extending into the late evening, early night hours. But again, I will stress a slight risk, if anything. I think our greatest severe threat as of right now, again, look at this
All
very
right, tornado
strong
warning for
outflow.
Dyersburg now.
Tornado warning, Dyersburg, Tennessee. Again, there may not be viewing us in Dyersburg proper, but again, I think the polygon, if it includes Dyersburg proper, looks like it's Dyer County, Tennessee, not Dyersburg proper from what I'm seeing right now. But that will definitely change. Reports of tornadoes, Silk, some in Lauderdale County. That will be tracking into Dyer County here. Okay, I'm going to check in with some of our correspondents here on Storm Community. They may have some damage reports, so I can always pass them along. But yeah, just be oh, that's just some of the media. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the reports from the service. Okay. Oh, that's just the National Weather. He's sharing his National Weather Service. Again, we've been following these cells. Again, I'm going to check in with our other correspondents. Any damage in cell? Okay.
They've still got that tornado warning for parts of St. Clair County. This is in St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Injuries, cars off the road, according to Reed. Okay, a possible tornado. I will stress a tornado has possibly occurred here near Troy. I'm gonna show you if I can. If you would have the means to share this to the I'm gonna if I have permission.
All right, folks, we got a report of a tornado in Troy.
Yep, Troy.
Folks, if you're in Troy, you need to seek shelter now.
Probably read. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share this to your messenger. Here, so.
All right, I'll send that out to Facebook. Let me go. Yep. I'll be right back.
Yep. Troy. Okay. Yeah. So I sent that into the Storm community chat there, if you're able to. But yes, I will point out, again, the rotation is still fairly tight, and I'm going to try and see if there's a way I can share this. There's probably a way. I'd have to get like Twitter or something like that. Or I'm going to see if I can shut off the screen share. Or yeah, I'm good. But yes, I'm gonna okay. Still got Cross Metro East that I have to follow up with. But I will point at, looks like that's a tow truck. Yeah, some vehicles were off the road. They had to be towed. Again, I think that might be the aftermath of what has.
If you're in Belleville, you need to be seeking shelter now.
Okay. Also, another thing from okay.
Gotta text my cousin because she lives in Belleville, and I tell her there's a tornado warning for Belleville.
Okay. Yeah. So again, we've had some unconfirmed some injury reports with this. I'm going to see. I'm going to check the National Weather Service Weldon Springs, St. Louis Twitter feed, because there could also be some local storm report information here. I would like to pass along mostly what's official, like, just for communities to, like, this is your cue to, like, prepare for what this storm does in your community. I'm gonna go NWS.
Yeah, folks, we got a new report come in up here by Set Jacob. All right, a flagpole just snapped up here by Set Jacob.
Flagpole snapped.
That'd be Madison, Illinois. We just have a flag.
Yeah, we also have some folks.
So if you're in any of these tornado warnings, folks, you got to take cover. If you live in Belleville, you got to get centered now. This is a tornado warning, folks. You got to make sure you in a basement right now. This is a very tight couplet. And like I said, if you don't listen to us tonight, we already had cars already got towed away from this tornado warning. So, folks, you got to get centered right now. You do not wait on the tornado. It's doing damage. We already have some cars already been towed. So you definitely got to take the storm. You got to take the storm very seriously tonight. And we've been on for about an hour and 27 minutes. I started up coverage when that stuff was moving into Arkansas. And we're still doing coverage because we got storms in St. Louis now. So this has been an active spring, Isaac, haven't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely has. I'm keeping tabs with our storm community chat here. If you give me one moment.
Want me to change the color to red on storm community?
No, that's Michael Runyon. He normally takes care of all that.
Okay, I will let that.
For some of our other correspondents,
I'll let that be.
But yeah, the storm to the south also significant. Yeah, still some Titan rotation, a good inflow notch with that. But I'm going to see how this storm has progressed. Just looking at some of the data here. But yeah, I'm going to put a lot of this in motion here. But yeah, see how. I don't want to see that.
All right, we got some more damage coming in. Highway 1.
Fairly tight.
All right, we have something else down here. Highway 1. Vandale power is down, so that's in parts of Wayne, parts of Cross, Arkansas has no power down here.
All right. If you give me 1 second, I'm going to try and tag your profile and normally what you do in this. So would it be JD, Kelly, Jelaine, Kristen, Jonathan, Ian, Chastity, Jacob? 10 more friends. Okay. I'm going to try and, I'll share it to your sort of weather team, just as you.
Okay, thank you. So we could actually get that out.
Share.
All right. While you doing this, we got a new storm trying to form in Farmington, Missouri out there by Iron Mountain Lake. I'm starting to get another sail trying to form. Very little wind shear. Very little hail, but this tornado warning, if it moves to Ina pretty soon, Dix, if it holds together, it'd be in parts of Wayne County. So just be ready if we have to go into tornado.
Okay, so I wanted to take the time to share to your profile and just some of the other people that may be keeping tabs with this severe threat. I'm just going to do my best to address this. Obviously, no imminent danger to Mount Vernon, Hamilton, Jefferson County, Hamilton County, Wayne County, Franklin County at the moment. No imminent danger right now. A lot of the imminent danger is what we're seeing here in Muskota or Scott Air Force Base, Des Moinesville, Oakville, Addiesville, New Minden. Not Nashville, but again, Carlisle is also included in this tornado warning. But again, I will stress, we've seen some very tight rotation right here that will be approaching Muskota within the next couple of minutes. But also, I've been following this cell, since it's been tracking through Glen Carbon, getting ready to parallel the interstate. But we've had one of our correspondents. I just reached out to him it's actually some of our other friends here on Spotter Network and just some of our other correspondents across the Metro East area. I've gotten some pictures. Whether these are official or not, I don't know, but still, I want to stress, what has happened here. Yeah, this is a spotter report. Yeah, flagpole snapped in half, but yeah, according to, I've gotten some pictures here. A large tree branch is blocking the road. We've had some vehicles that were blown off the road. Looks like some people that had to be towed, and possibility of injuries with this. So I will point out to a lot of our communities here in Jefferson County, Wayne County. I know you have correspondents up there, but I'm also monitoring these cells. Obviously, these are not severe, but you can see the temperatures and everything ahead are still in the 70s. Dew points in the upper 60s. The dew point
72 degrees in McLeansboro.
Yeah, 72 degrees in McLeansboro. So what I'm interested in, I want to see what the environment is looking like ahead of these showers and thunderstorms. And there's my email or my Facebook, but I'm gonna go back to analysis. But yes, and it's actually not under mesoanalysis. Their hyperlink on their web page, but yeah, I thought of what we're seeing here is I think that's starting to enhance that low level information. But again, I'm really interested. Wind shear overall has been sporadic. Been in the area, but you can see a lot of our shower and thunderstorm coverage across just a narrow corridor there. Just see that line of storms, broken line. We got some more elevated,
I'm going to step out for a second again.
Meso present with the rotation with those. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna see basic. Yeah, if you want to share your screen, go ahead. But if you have me shared or whatever. But again, I would still like. I'm still interested in sharing this information. I want to see, what the environment is ahead of these showers and thunderstorms that are developing downstream, further down into Missouri. Because, looks like we still have some thunderstorms that are growing upscale, but I think the strongest storms like Washington County, Clinton County, a lot of what we're seeing now is in St. Clair County at the moment. Within the next several minutes, and it looks like we do have some adjustments to their national the warning. Now, we have a severe St. Clair, Monroe counties in Illinois, St. Genevieve, and looks like that would be trying to see what St. Francois County, Missouri. So
we could have warnings in Illinois eventually. Yeah, I just got a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes, I just caught on that, but yes.
New severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph.
Okay, here. Yeah, we'll get there, but yes, you see there's a line of severe thunderstorms, again, from just Smithton to Pilot Knob, but yes, what they're concerned about with this, again, you can see how, there's a line of storms, and look at, we got broad wind shear with that. So again, it could tighten up at times, like what we're seeing here with those tornado warnings. But I will point out, obviously, again, there is that, again, possibility of quarter-sized hail at times because we have some, again, a lot of, you can get those mesocyclones that do develop right ahead of those. And again, you can see how we get a southerly flow ahead of that may be inflow that we might be picking up with. But again, I will point out, again, over the next hour, I think we're going to start see those storms impact, areas around Highway 51, probably extending into the Mount Vernon area, the Jefferson County, Franklin County vicinity. Whether they'll be severe or not, it depends on how it holds together. We again, the environment is favorable for some of these strong to severe storms. They'll like progress with some wind shear. I don't know if it's going to be stable. Again, it's been sporadic most of the time, but still you can see how we have some, just some broader like wind shear, how the winds are changing. You got all of this sinking air that's probably out that you're getting from all this. So this could be wind gusts in excess of 60 plus miles per hour. Again, I will point out they have the whole line of storms warned for severe weather. Not every single community that's in the warning will get 60 mile per hour wind gusts. It's likely the areas that, will get that enhanced wind shear. It's possible over the whole area with this line of storms, but the line of storms is here. This is warning. When it's a warning, that means it's going on. But whether it's happening right on top of you or not, again, it's a question of like it may be more of a question of if, but like it's still like it's if it's on top of you, you won't know for sure. But it happens and it produces damage, like down trees and damages your roof, or like maybe if a larger tree were to fall onto your house, or lightning strikes a tree, big branch falls on the upper floors, and there's people occupying. There are people on the exterior walls of your home. What we don't want is injuries. We want people to be inside, indoors. Site-built building would be your best bet. If there's always that possibility.
Yeah, Randolph.
Again, what we've been seeing, there could be tornado
Randolph
warnings.
County's under a warning now. Folks, we got a new warning for North Central Washington County and Moore County. Yeah, okay. Severe thunderstorm warning. St. Francis.
Okay, yeah.
At 7:27, a severe thunderstorm was located, extended from Simpson to near Pocahontas. Is that Pocahontas?
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's moving at 35, so winds gusts up to 60. So, folks, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. We could see a brief spin-up tornado with this. So if you're in the path of this, move to shelter. Get away. Just get away from wind is the best thing. We have this tornado warning that goes in effect to 8 p.m. Like I said, these storms are going to continue for the even hours. Like I just got to watch the video of the meteorologist from Carterville, Illinois, and he said there could be warnings eventually. Jefferson County, nothing yet. This is Isaac. Are you watching this? This is kind of angling towards Mount Vernon a little bit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, I will stress, again, if this does hold together, I think northern parts of Jefferson County, again, with the wind shear and everything, it's still, somewhat tight. And I'm looking, we may have some other inflow notches in areas of wind shear with that, and it could be developing further south. We do have some storms producing some strong winds further south, and we still got all that wind shear and everything, and we have a possible area of, obviously broader rotation, nothing really tightened, but still, you cannot rule out the possibility of something spinning up with this line either, but I will stress, still some fairly tight rotation there east of Muskota. And it'll likely, the way I'm going to put my end on motion here, but I think this distinct area of this couplet is tracking due east. So I will point out, maybe if it continues to kind of trail like Highway 50 near the New Baden area, just for example, if it continues on that track, I would point out maybe areas around Centralia, like the rest of Clinton and Marion County, northern Jefferson County, and obviously the rest of northern Washington County. Centralia, obviously that's a community of, about 12,000 people. Obviously there's been a little bit of population decline there. The coal industry is really what got things going in Centralia, and obviously I think there was that mine explosion a while back in Centralia, but that's just But obviously looks like if it continues to track due east the way it is, that would take it into the Centralia area. That would be within the next hour, probably. Maybe you got less than an hour, you folks in Centralia. But if that continues to tighten up, I would say again, I think we still got favorable wind shear. But I would definitely I would be interested in seeing some additional of this meso analysis data. I am going to open this up. Give me 1 second, but I think the helicity and everything. I wonder if that's still going to hold together here within the next hour, just immediately ahead of that, because again, just what I'm seeing on here. I'm going to see the 2 hour, just the overall trend. Yeah, the helicity data. Yeah, still maybe 100, maybe some isolated spots of 200 M2S2 storm relative 0 to 1 kilometer helicity. And whether that instability is going to hold together. Again, I think, yeah, we still got plenty of surface heating and instability, and likely what we're seeing, yeah, the corridor maybe 1,000 plus ML Cape. Or maybe, yeah, I think MU Cape, that's equivalent to the SB Capes with that. So I think the environment's still very primed. I think there's a good possibility this area of rotation will hold together here within the next hour. And I think Centralia, Junction City, Sandoval, Salem, Mount Vernon, just all of these vicinities, I would pay very close attention, because I think there's a good possibility this will likely hold
I'm watching
together.
it too.
And also this cell up here.
I called my mom and dad and let them know.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, Mount Vernon, obviously, I wouldn't say immediate danger for Mount Vernon. I would, are your parents in Mount Vernon? I would say like Dahlgren, McLeansboro.
No,
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, that's what I call. I just called my dad and let him know that there's a tornado warning just in St. Louis, but it's trying to work its way to Mount Vernon. That's what I told him. He's going to keep an eye on it.
North of Mount Vernon. It is possible, again, with this southern line of storms, with the, there's a possibility something may tighten up within here, and there could be the possibility you may get a spin up tornado along the line, and you may get warnings in the short term that may pop up here, just over some of these other communities. But again, I will say the severe threat is definitely, we need to put the severe threat on the table here. And you folks in Mount Vernon, the Mount Vernon vicinity, some of the communities nearby. But I am, it looks like we have some other spotter. Okay, Michael's actually chasing this, or trying to see what other trying to storm spot. Okay. Okay. These were videos that probably didn't make it to us earlier, because again, we do have a lot of concerns with a lot of folks have spotty cell service, and what that concerns for me too is some people may fail. As sometimes you will not get the notification of a tornado warning on your smartphone, which is enabled by default.
Yeah.
Another thing I will point out.
That's why
again,
I got a weather radio.
That's why it's very handy to have these NOAA weather radios. I have one with me right now. What this thing does is essentially it's the National Weather Service's direct, it's their best of communication to the outside world. Is the NOAA weather radio. Obviously, you have the emergency alert system, all these other local media's agencies that pass along the warning. But those, the national, these NOAA weather radios really are that's their primary way of getting public an emergency. You're always going to have the internet. Obviously, the internet always flakes out, and your cell phone service can be very spotty, especially in these rural areas. But that also stresses the importance. The cell service could also go out. Tornado hits a major feeder line and it takes out your cell
I got
phone or
something
your
to
internet.
report here.
That's also
New watch.
why it's crucial.
We could have a new severe
just
thunderstorm
have a
watch be
family
issued, Isaac.
plan and everything, right? Okay,
New
yeah, the storm
watch
prediction
could be
center definitely.
issued. They're already
I
sold it.
am going to. Yeah, that's probably ahead of
Pull
the
that
storms
up,
that they're
please.
monitoring. Yeah. Oh, this
Max
is
something.
this would be. Oh, this is in North Carolina, the Outer Banks. Yeah, they're definitely saying
No,
severe
I got
storms
something else
moving
I
across
showed you
this
here.
area.
I checked my cell phone. There's something on here I was going to show you. There's a watch. They sold that 6 something of a watch could be issued for some Illinois counties. I wouldn't be surprised if they extend that.
Okay.
You know, or
okay.
I'm getting ready to.
They have not directly mentioned anything since the initial watch has been issued. Okay, yes, the correspondent sending us a picture out of New Athens. And I'm going to do a test.
Here.
I mean, I
There
know
it
all
is.
this.
That's where the watch could be at.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, it's you were showing me on your phone, but yes, I can say yeah, we're seeing a lot of photos coming into the Illinois storm community, just a lot of the follower base there. Okay, yeah, there we are. Yeah, that is actually regarding that is the metal safe follow-up to the watch. So I'll add that back on just to, yeah, I'm gonna, yeah. So I mean, New Athens, oh yeah, New Athens, that's towards Rosebud. But I will point out again,
Yeah, still got.
I can see that this
Muscuta's still in this. Starting to get more reports of
yeah,
a 0.25 inches of hail. That would be in parts of Muscuta area. Tornado warning still continues. I want to pull up velocity. Isaac, this is still have a up at the top one. Still has a very tight couplet right up there. So we don't have no. So this is a tornado warning. I think it's getting ready to move out of the area eventually. And we still got the severe thunderstorm warning here too.
Okay. So I will point out again, Muskota, or is it pronounced Muscuta? Yeah, I think it's Muskota. Yeah, east of Muskota, near DeMionsville. That is where we still have a little bit of rotation there. Obviously, if anything, it's weak here at this altitude that the radar is showing. But further near the storm base, sometimes obviously below this altitude, you're getting maybe some stronger rotation that you may be getting, and sometimes I like to look at the composite. Yeah, I will point out those folks in, again, I will stress for our USA Storm Watch, Illinois Storm Watch follower base. Again, we try and communicate, the local scale information and try to relay it, be that outlet of information, that we're trying to supplement. All we are is supplementing,
Isaac, I just got some more damage in.
Yeah, but again, once again, it's always imperative to follow, have your radios, your NOAA weather radios, and your just way to watch, your local news and television stations, because we're supplementing, for our social media base, trying to be that outlet of information that so like just we're trying to help you. What we're doing is helping, and obviously for those conveying our streams and everything, we thank you for all that you're doing. But I will point out again, for all these communities within here, we may not have people joining us on the live stream directly within these communities, but we have a much broader follower base. So I mean, obviously, where the severe storms are still possibilities. So like, especially those that are in like, mesoscale outlooks or watches or like any kind of broader scale headlines. We try and address ourselves, just to pinpoint, what areas have the highest severe threat and, some of the timing with that. But I will point out the rotation is broadened. with this cell in Bond County, and the
All right, we
tornado
just have a
warning
new
has
severe
been
thunderstorm
canceled or
warning.
allowed to expire. Okay, yeah,
New
that would,
warnings.
yeah, they have replaced this warning here for Bond, Clinton, Madison, Marion, St. Clair counties here. This, yeah, mostly on the account of damaging winds, probably some large hail with this, but still very broad shear with all this. So I mean, there are indications of wind gusts.
Starting to get a little tightened up
You're
right there.
40 to 50 knots. That would be gusts in excess of 58 miles per hour. Still some intense winds
All right,
here.
new tornado warning again.
With this severe thunder. Okay, we're
New
going to see
tornado
what
warning.
updates we have. Okay,
Bond County
they
and
might be
Marion.
following this. Okay. Oh, this would be Bond County. Oh, this would be right up here. Would this? I think there's that. Yeah. I was going to say Vandalia. Yeah, Vandalia, tornado warned, Vernon, Patoka, Keysport, in this tornado warning. Yes. See, we have some broad rotation up here. You know, it's been tightening up at times. So that's where I think, where this
Yeah, that's very
apparent
tight, folks.
cyclone.
Very tight.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe we're going a little too far by saying very tight, but I will still point out that it's been tightening up at times. So, okay, now the new reflectivity scan looks like we're seeing some really intense outflow winds, and I think this is where we're seeing, some of that, it's being coupled by some of that inflow. Maybe, yeah, still a couple that's been tightening up at times. But I will point out, up here in, east of, south of Pleasant Mound towards Tamalco. Tamalco there. I am going to get my inspector tool, kind of pinpoint, the velocity and the shear with this. I think, yeah, we're seeing a broad area of wind shear in excess of 40 knots or 40 miles per hour shear.
So if you're in Bond County,
yeah, I'm using my phone.
If you're in this polygon, well, I'm looking I'll read stuff. If you live in St. James, or you might want to take cover. This is a tornado warning, or anybody listed in this polygon probably need to get to the lowest floor. Starting to get more reports coming in. Trees and power lines have been down on a road again.
Okay, that is probably from some of our other correspondents in the Metro East area. I mean, I wonder if that would be the correspondent I reached out to earlier. But yeah, we've been getting various reports of that kind of nature, and it is, I'm following this on the radar scope here. Looks like we have some much stronger, outbound velocities here coming towards Tamalco. Obviously, what I mean, it's stronger outbound velocities, not a tornadic couplet necessarily, but I mean still a broad area of rotation. I think, the radars, it is possible there is much stronger rotation below the altitude that the radar is giving us. So I got my radar scope open here on my computer. Obviously, my computer is a little slow because this is a Core 2 Duo. It takes a while to load, but I will point out, just looking at the inspector tool, and I think I can dual panel this, see if I can hit the number 2, or I think I hit the F2 key or something like that. But what I am going to do, there's a button somewhere where I do that. Yeah, I was going to say, that's how you panel it. But I kind of want to highlight the areas we're concerned about, just south of Pleasant Mound. I think we got a little bit of an inflow notch there where we're seeing some. I think there is. It might be tightening up a little bit. This area of wind shear. I'm going to try and pinpoint. This is much higher. Higher definition radar than 3, which is an older computer program. This is obviously the best new. This is the newest technology that helps smooth some of the radar data, gives you better frames and returns on there. But I'm going to try and dual panel all this if there's a way I can do. Oh, there's the settings icon
All
here.
right, I'm gonna analyze things for you.
Okay, that's a 6. Am I in Pro? Oh, I'm unable to reach the Microsoft Store. Oh, like apparently I'm not able to
Okay, let
dual
me.
panel this. But I'm gonna go to
All right, Isaac,
velocity
we're
on
getting some
my
reports. All right, we got some
Okay.
reports of some hail with this tornado, 0.75, and we got one report at 0.25. This is probably all quarter size
Yeah,
hail
that
with
would
this
be
tornado warning.
size hail is 0.25. If it's 1.25, that would be half dollar size. But I'm going to show you the area I'm talking about.
It's 0.7.
See, I'm
0.75.
highlighting the
If you live
area.
in New Baden,
Yeah,
if you
obviously
live in a New
Baden
Baden area or EMPZ or
area is
Mascoutah,
east of there.
you're in Oakville, you need to be shaking shelter.
Well, obviously the rotation is past New Baden and Mascoutah now. Now
Okay.
we're mostly concerned. I'll show you. Obviously, these are two tornado warning areas. I couldn't get the reflectivity panel on there, but these are the velocities there. You can see the winds coming, going further away from the radar at this specific altitude that the radar beams you're getting all the returns, but this is base velocity. This is the base velocity product. This factors in the motion of the thunderstorm and everything. And I'm going to kind of pinpoint like where we have the broadest like rotation here. This Temalco, what we're seeing here in Temalco, yeah, obviously it's still fetching. Obviously it takes a while to gain some of the data. Near 70 mile per hour velocities. This is not the winds. This is not the winds at the ground. I will stress that. But these are the winds near the base of the storm, not at the base, but near the base of the storm. And you can see it goes from 60 to a little, like maybe a little bit, like maybe a 2 or 3 mile, or like maybe like within a few miles north, you get 8 mile per hour inbound velocities. So almost 70 outbound velocities against 8 inbound velocities. That would be, I don't know, that would probably be well over 70 mile per hour. That would be over 70 mile per hour shear with that. So I mean that is really strong wind shear. The good news is this isn't like if this were like 70 mile per hour, like directly gate to gate, that would likely be like indication of a strong tornado. But I mean, obviously, I will say there's a little bit of breathing room within there, but I mean, still very broad wind shear there. And I mean, obviously, I will stress there might be a little bit of stronger wind shear near the ground. This isn't exactly the base of the storm. And I will point out, again, for our communities that may be in the path of this couplet there, it may tighten up at times and you may get an embedded stronger tornado with something like this. I've seen it happen before where you had this really strong wind shear. It may not be the tightest wind shear, but it's still very strong by all means. So as it progresses towards areas south of Vandalia, towards Patoka, some of these, the good news is, doesn't really look like, there are direct towns in the direct path of this, but Pleasant Mound, maybe a town of a couple hundred people, or maybe less than 100. I don't know. It's just, when you see these cities on the map, I think these are like, now looks like the outbound velocities are much longer now. The colors were brighter, but the inspector tool I would have to zoom in a little bit better. Wonder if we have any 70s within there. I mean, with that particular couplet there, I'm going to try and kind of pinpoint. Yeah, I think that white color in there. Yeah, that would probably, I would say that is 70.
Reynolds County.
But I will point out the wind shear is definitely very strong. So again,
severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, if that does tighten up, I would be again.
Look at this.
Okay, yeah. So JD.
Right. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Iron County and central Missouri, parts of Madison County and South Central Missouri and South Central St. Francis to 9 p.m. It's moving near at 55 miles an hour and 60 miles of wind gusts and hail at the side of quarters with this, and a possible tornado, Senator, right over here.
Okay, let me open up my browser window here, see what you're referring to.
I'll be right back. I gotta do something here for a second. And
okay, so I'm going to kind of emphasize a little bit better communities downstream of of those warnings. Again, I think the environment you're towards, further south, further into the, South Missouri area, towards like areas south of Farmington, towards Chester, Illinois. You can see those storms, Randolph, I think out of the way in Monroe County, some of these other counties there. My GR here real quick, but yeah, Randolph County, and yeah, into Washington, St. Clair, obviously Marion County now severe warned. Yeah, this new warning, it's following up with this just broader line in general, but a little bit of a concern. I'm going to share my screen data again. Again, I've been sharing this for some time here, but I am going to show you. I've been following with this couplet, Pleasant Mound. Obviously, the good news is it's not necessarily very tight velocity gate to gate returns, but you can see right between Pleasant Mound and Tamalco, some of these. It's a smaller community, so I mean, obviously not a direct urban threat, but if this is on top of you, these potentially 70 mile per hour downdrafts on top of you, that could be that is pretty dangerous. But I mean, if that tightens up, you got 70 outbound against minus 10 inbound. That would be, I would just say that maybe the wind shear could be as high as 100 miles per hour just within just a few miles, within the thunderstorm. So you got definitely some rotation with that. But again, sometimes in this environment, tornadoes can spin up. So I mean, it's moving into an environment that we still got some intense wind shear. So I mean, the National the Weather Service has, that's why they've issued these warnings ahead of time. Even if you're not seeing as much tight rotation, they got plenty of wind shear ahead of these areas. So I mean, if anything, I'm also we've been paying a close attention to Carlisle, also Sandoval, Centralia, and Irvington areas. And looks like we still do have some very strong outbound velocities here. A possible a tornadic couplet here. You can see, I think there could be two different areas. Obviously, I would look up here pretty closely. Obviously, this is just, it's not like the tightest of wind shear by any means, but like Beckemeyer towards Carlisle, I think we got some intense winds. Again, we got like 70 plus outbound against like pretty much zero outbound, inbound, kind of, or like maybe a little under like 5 mile per hour inbound at the altitude near the base of the storm, like near the base of the storm, not at the base of the storm. But there is a possible rotation. We've been following it into DeMionsville. I think that area is towards Bartelso, some of these unincorporated communities. But I think looks like we got those strong winds, those strong outflow winds from these thunderstorms. This is where we have some inflow. Looks like an inflow notch. Some of those stronger winds being coupled in from the low levels or near the surface. Just a little further aloft, you're getting these strong winds. And I will point out the tornado warning has been dropped. I don't know what the National Weather Service is going to do for you folks in Centralia. They may keep it at a severe thunderstorm warning to account for the intense winds. Outside of the possibility, you may get a tornado spin up along the line. We're in that environment primed of strong low-level wind shear, and sometimes you may get tornadoes to spin up without warning. And the Weather Service, that's what they do with the severe thunderstorm warnings, to outline the possibility. They're not expecting a tornado, but it's certainly possible given the environment. I'm still paying really close attention to the situation here in Vandalia. It looks like the rotation might be starting to tighten up a bit. Or at least we got a broader area of where you see the stronger winds there near Tumalco. That is starting to tighten up. So you get some stronger outbound against, you got like gate to gate, you got like 50, just guessing the number, just given the contours that we're seeing there, but that would be against like 12 mile per hour inbound. So like that tightens up. You get a tornado that spins up. Just the indication is, obviously, this is at a specific altitude, 0.5 degree angle that bounces, and you get it's not a defined altitude. This is definitely near the base of the storm. What I'm seeing there. But we're gonna keep close tabs on that. But but again, we're gonna keep a close eye on things. But I actually I have to pass it over to you, JD, because I have a commitment that I have to respond to, or I have to respond to my mother here. But I'll do my best to return. I'll
All right, Isaac had to get off for a little bit. He should be back in a little bit. We have still that tornado warning just up to the north, and this includes parts of north central Clinton County and central Illinois, south central Marion County, and central Illinois, north central Washington County, and central Illinois to 845. At 7:59, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Backer moving 50 miles an hour, so hazardous tornado and quarter-size hail. So if you would be in Shiloh, if you live in Johnson City, Justice City up here, Central Clay, or Centralia, Walnut Hill, or any of these communities like Kaufman, you definitely need to be in your tornado safe spot. There is a potentially little red next to green that is gate to gate sheared, and that's up towards Kaufman. That's the area with the strongest side of rotation. So you gotta take that seriously. So right now, I'm gonna send a couple people the link so they can watch us and hit our like button so they can see us tonight. This is probably the way I'm gonna do it. So Trying to see who would always watch my weather here. Just give me a second. Alright, just give me a second. I just gotta send people the link. I sent it to some people here earlier. Oh shoot. Sorry about that. All right, sorry about just sending some links in. Tornado warnings are continuing right now. We was continue to stay with you on our coverage. We've been on the longest night because this has been some pretty bad coverage for severe weather. So if you're just joining me and the weather team tonight, looks like we just got a new warning. I'm trying to keep track of every warning in Illinois, but it's really hard tonight. Bond County and St. Clair. So right now we're continuing to track storms and see what we got in place now. Nashville, you're under warning. That's going to probably expire soon. Still got Shiloh in it. The severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for some strong to damage and straight line winds with this. So we got the severe thunderstorm tree limbs down reported in the public. So we'll pull velocity up and starting to get some strong winds. Maybe some large hail. Let me back up this a little bit. Large hail up to 2 inches. So look at this. Gosh. Hey, folks, we're starting to get some very large hail with these storms. So we're getting some pretty strong updrafts. And that's what's been producing some very large hail. That's in parts of Missouri. Getting some property damage. Bang about this. Starting to get some damage in this whole area. So Pinckneyville, be ready if you're coming towards Pinckneyville. And just sending my app for the coverage because we could actually. I got a lot of people coming that's going to come through this area, so let me send the people that needs to watch my coverage here. All right, still got some more storms coming in. Just getting some damage coming in Missouri. We have tornado warnings. Still got tornado warnings continuing for up here. This runs for 8:45. For the Kaufman. If you live in Kaufman area, you need to be shaking shelters. Shiloh, you need to be shaking shelters. Let me a little bit of gust front, but this is where you can get your small tornado spin ups. And if it gets pretty bad, I'll have to go to my safe area here. All right, new warnings are coming in. That's for Arkansas. We'll have to take a look at that just in a second. This has been a stormy evening, folks. We have some damage coming in, and it's about 8:14, and we're still tracking storms. This is for St. Francis. It's at 9:15. These storms could produce maybe even a possible tornado. We'll have to see if that happens. Let's see. Got more damage coming in. Power lines down. That sort of stuff. So. Been kind of a warm start today. and give you another start. The storm, if this tornado wind continues, it'll be moving towards like maybe parts of Johnsonville, Cincinnati, Mount Ellis, West Salem. I would be ready just in case that would come towards you. Mount Carmel, if that holds together, I want you to be ready too, in case these storms would come towards you. So we'll zoom in. Kaufman, you're under the 180. That is just some pretty decent signs of rotation up there. By Kaufman and Shiloh, that's where the strongest rotation's at. So you probably need to be figuring out where you want to go. Jefferson County, you're not under a warning yet. Bond, you're under a warning. Ashley, you're under a warning to about 9:15. These storms could just spin up a brief tornado. And that's where we just continue to have our damage at. So right now, I'm going to keep things on mute for a little bit. I'm going to take me a quick break. I'm not going to cancel the live stream yet. We want to keep things up. I'm going to continue to pass along coverage right now and just get a little, take a little drink because I've been working for about almost 2 hours straight. This was pretty decent coverage, and we're still in warnings. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me something to drink, and we'll pop on as we need to in a minute. I'm going to just take a break, and we'll be back when we see any more storms. All right, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Vice Forecaster, Illinois Stormwatch Vice Forecaster JD, back with you again in the Breaking Weather Center. We've been continuing to track severe weather. We got a couple severe thunderstorm warnings had just been issued. Those have been. I'm going to update new data and do this. Severe thunderstorm warning looks like these warnings in effect about 9 p.m. for north central Perry County and central Missouri until 9 p.m. At 8:21, a severe thunderstorm is located near Kaufman or near 40 miles per hour. Hazardous. 60 miles of wind gusts and half dollar size hail. So this is a tornado. I mean, a severe thunderstorm warning out here. And this storm is still showing me signs of maybe some broad rotation. So you live in Kaufman area, you probably need to be remaining in these are producing some strong to damaging straight line winds are going to be the biggest concern with this. And that's a new one for parts of Perry County and to about 9 p.m. This line of storms has the potentially. All right, I'm going to have to add my thing back on. Let me see, did I mess anything up? That's why I don't like. All right, let's do this again. Didn't mean to close that warning out. All right, this storm, we already had reports of tree limbs down, McGuan area, so that needs to be kind of watched. Let's check for the potential for hail. And yeah, gosh. We're looking for potentially for some very large hail with these storms, folks. So today's been an active day, and this storm really had the potential of some strong to straight line winds with it. So we're gonna have to watch that. So Perry County still shows some of the space. We'll check to see if you have any rotation. Very little. There's potentially some very large hail. So you probably want to be moving towards Edwardsville. I just took a look at some things in Edwardsville right now. We'll zoom in. All right, let's get back up here towards. We're starting to get trees down, trees and power lines down. We get reports of parts of Madison County, Illinois, down trees, branches over the. So for folks, we're starting to get trees down now, folks. This is what we thought: a line of storms to move in, and has a little more of a punch to it with brief spin up tornadoes. So, tornado warning continues all the way up here. This is in effect for parts of Lincoln, for the Coes in Cotman County at 8:21. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near the Toka Moonies at 40. So, tornado will be the main thing. It's a radar indicated tornado, so get centered and get covered. This is a tornado warning, and just still have to quite the span of this yet. So definitely going to have to watch that with these storms that they move in into environment. You can see how fast these line of thunderstorms have been moving, and that's why we're continuing to keep you updated today. We've been on for almost 3 hours today, and this is why we're continuing to track severe weather.
Get those. I thought right where could be a multi.
So I'm just reading here, going to the main chat. I mean, look at the latest Outlook, because I think they did some changes to our Outlook here. Won't surprise me if they did. So let's pull up here. So hold on just a second. And by the way, we do have let's check on the SPC. Weather radio just went off again for a severe thunderstorm watch. So I'm going to keep my phone on loud in case I get updates. Coming in, new severe thunderstorm watch. This goes through 11 p.m. Tornado threats very low, folks. But you just read the text here. This storm scattered damage winds up to 65 miles an hour. So that is just something we're going to have to watch. Wind damage is going to be the problem with this. So hold it tight for just for a second. I want to go here to change some things here. I'm going to change screens. Go over here just for a second. And there we go. New severe thunderstorm watch goes into effect until 11 p.m. Scattered wind damage is going to be the concern. Scattered wind damage. That's where you can get really some trees. So please, what everybody would do is charge your devices up, charge your tablets up, or in case you lose power from this event. We already has some wind damage already this evening, and that's what's been causing some potentially some significant damage. So we will continue to keep that in mind. Go back to my radar, and we'll probably just do what we've been doing. Tornado warning is in effect up there for Lincoln. Let's see. I'm going to update the screen here, and you can see how fast this line of storms has been building in. But just checking, no new warnings in effect. But this one for all right, new tornado warning, and that's not even for a viewing area right now. So that's some good news. There's in Louisiana, and this is just what's going to do. So we're not having. Let's check the parts of Dixon, Illinois. See what we got in place of that. Still looks like we can see 1 inch hail. That'd be quarter-size hail a lot. So yeah, if you live in Ina, that's the potential for quarter-size hail with that. So definitely, that's on the table. All right. So back out. So right now we have this just a couple warnings in place. So I want to just do the same thing like we've been doing. Is continue our coverage, and I'm going to put things on mute again, and take a little quick break. If we see new warnings, we'll decide to break right back in to let you know. Right now, I am Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you. We'll continue to keep you updated. Good evening, Vice Forecaster Jetty Rap with you back in the Weather Center. We do have a couple new severe thunderstorm warnings. North central Boulder County, South central Missouri, North central Perry County, and central Illinois and Missouri. North central Cape Girardeau County, and central eastern Missouri, and to 9:30. 8:43, a severe thunderstorm located along the line extending from 8 miles east of Wyoming near Coben, Minnesota, 20 miles an hour. What to spec? 60 miles of wind gusts and quarter size hail with this. So we'll zoom in and you can see put the wind velocity on first. I want to see if we have any strong winds. We do at times, but this whole line could just produce mainly hail. And that's good. None of the winds are expired. So I'm kind of proud that's actually happening because we don't really need any extra problems. But the hail has been the biggest concern tonight. Look at this. Gosh. Up to 1-inch hail over here in parts of Perry County. We're starting to get very large hail with this. And hail, getting some very large hail this evening.
So, severe thunderstorms in this general area.
Starting to get lots of hail tonight. Hail's been the biggest thing that we've been dealing with is this large hail. And the severe thunderstorm watch, I just get into the best at 11 o'clock. So that's still and some strong to straight line winds with this whole system with some very large hail at that. So this goes in effect until about 9:30. Don't see any wind shear, but this storm up here from out towards Marion and Lafayette County, this one still could spin up a brief tornado. That's what's concerning me is we could see a spin up along this area, and this line of thunderstorms could move to north of Wayne City. So I wouldn't take your tornado precautions quite yet, but I still would figure out where you want to go just in case we have something like that. So we can still see storms going on. Tornadoes are continuing in Arkansas this evening, and I'm trying to see if I can get this. All right, hold things up. Hold on just a second.
All right, I'm back. Doesn't look like there's any severe warnings for those viewing us in like McLeansboro, Mount Vernon, anywhere along the Interstate 657 towards the 64 corridor. Um, However, I will stress I've been following stuff from Cumberland County, Illinois, into further into East Central Illinois. It looks like from Alney towards like we have a possible couplet. This is what we've been following from areas around Toledo. I've been following. It's been a fairly tight
I'm
couplet, and
back.
it's been this is the same system that's been tracking the one that was. It's been producing some very tight rotation here for some time. I mean, we've been following this since Metro. Now this is tracking through East Central Illinois. So this is a very fast line of damaging thunderstorms capable of producing some fairly high damaging winds. I mean, a brunt of this is now towards Newton, Illinois. This would be in Jasper County, and this also up towards Marshall County. And just seeing what the Weather Service is advising with so obviously this is a more linear thunderstorm, so obviously the main concern with this area of thunderstorms across East Central Illinois is damaging winds. So a brunt of this would be a Jasper County into so again this would be Jasper into Richland or Crawford County. That would be Crawford. That would be all, if I'm not mistaken. But that's where we have a lot of that. So obviously these are weakening, more elevated cells that are weakening, and they congeal into a line that are producing. So obviously the horizontal structure of everything in terms of the altitude and everything, you're getting a lot of sinking air from all of those. You got all the upscale forcing those when the storms are mature further aloft. Then you got all of that air is sinking because you got all that stable air aloft. So you don't have really any enhancement or forcing. So this is when you get the storms kind of congeal into a line. Now you get a little bit of a bow echo out of this tracking through like Newton, down towards St. Marie, Alney areas, towards Noble. There's we have indication here just estimating the wind speeds out of this using my tool, just given the amount of shear 50 to 60 mile per hour winds along this
Zoom
line.
in. I do.
So like tree tree damage may occur, and I mean maybe some power lines and stuff could be blown down along the leading edge. But I will point out, I think the most concentrated wind shear would be now East Central Illinois. Looks like they do have a severe warning in Randolph County, if I'm not mistaken. That'll be Chester. That is going to be allowed to expire pretty much in the next few minutes. But I will point out, looks like that's where the brunt of the wind shear is located. I think now, since we're congealed into a line, a lot of what we're seeing from Mount Vernon, Carbondale, DuQuoin, some of those other vicinities, and that's the area of storms that will push into McLeansboro here within the next hour or so. The wind shear is, I mean, obviously, I've all throughout the evening we've been kind of saying that it's been more of a sporadic concern. It's not going to be like strong wind, broad wind shear that's going to really enhance all these storms, and it's not going to be a severe weather outbreak by any means. Obviously, some of the wind shear
That won't be an outbreak.
is weaker. Talking maybe some areas where maybe the wind shear is over 20 mile per hour. Or obviously a little bit more than that, of course. But I mean, that's when you're obviously not really talking really much out of the way of severe weather or like any kind of wind that would cause damage by any means. But still, like I mean, when you like, obviously it's best to just ride out this line of storms inside. Um, but I mean, there are indications. We have outbound velocities of about 40 mile per hour with that storm as it tracked into out of Randolph County towards, I would say that would be towards Pinckneyville. So obviously nothing
And
severe with
in
that, the
Franklin
way
County,
things are looking right now. Still, I'm using radar scope tier 1,
here's something
which
about
gives me
Wayne County.
all the lightning.
Wayne County now.
What? Okay, yeah, the National Weather Paducah. This is the southern flank of that line of storms. So looks as if this is a warning here, mostly on the account of the 16 mile per hour wind gusts. This is kind of following up what's going on into east central Illinois. And I'm going to look at the Evansville Doppler radar since obviously the National Weather Service Lincoln Doppler radar is offline for maintenance. But I am seeing some pretty tight pretty city outbound velocities here from Evansville. So, or we got a little bit of a tad bit of a Boeing segment there. Looks like that is producing further aloft. We got like some velocities that are kind of averaging 40 plus. I think the shear is got 40 to 50 knot shear with that, but that's broad. And a lot of that with that Boeing segment, that's just indicating, you got a lot of sinking air in the horizontal structure with everything. You're getting some strong outflow from those thunderstorms that propagates to the ground. So then you're likely seeing like the 8 mile, like up to maybe a little bit over 58 mile per hour wind gusts with that thunderstorm. Extending down Wayne County, they do have it warned for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Also, embedded hail to quarter size would not be surprising. That's what the National Weather Service, according to the National Weather Service, Paducah. I was going to look at the VIL. Looks like we have a little bit of an updraft with that further aloft. I mean, obviously, that's where again you get that little area where the wind shear weakens. Just within the structure of or near the base of the storm, that's when you may get some rising air. So when the air gets a little bit colder aloft, there may be some change in the lapse rates and stuff that helps drive. There's still a little bit of enhancing that drives the storm upscale, but obviously doesn't look like there's any like significant developments out of the way, like rotation. But I mean, I will point out the wind shear with this. It's a broad rotation. If anything, it's weak. What we're seeing, but it definitely looks like of an up. And obviously, if anything does tighten up, we'll keep a good. Well, yeah, close eye on this. So this would be towards Sisney, Jeffersonville, and Mount Erie areas. But also, that is a separate Boeing. That's a different Boeing segment. Looks like the wind shear has
Possible
kind of
tornado up
the
here.
shear along the. Oh yeah, the National Weather Service Paducah probably a tornado pot. That is not surprising.
Yeah, so
Obviously, doesn't look like it's
you're
really tight by any means, but we'll see what the National Weather
in
Service with it. Those outbound velocities towards Evansville are much stronger within the next few. I don't know, they could decide to go with tornado warning for something like this, but I mean, if it
yeah. Then
really does tighten up, I
we'll
mean, not
we'll,
mostly the threat is
we'll
damaging this
walk
that
coverage.
propagates from
So yeah,
the
that is
structure of
tight
the
up there. So if you live in Jeffersonville,
or Sisney, Mount Erie,
I still would take cover.
Johnsonville, of course. I
That
mean,
looks like it's above me. I mean,
so
is would check to make sure
again,
you're being aware and
again, just be in a site, just be near your safe place. Not that you don't have to go to your basement or anything right now. If the National Weather Service goes with the calls for a tornado warning or something, we'll keep
Look at
tabs of
that.
that data. But here I'm gonna go back to this link here. I know that you probably have. Yeah, that is, that's where you have a little bit of an updraft with that. So that's rising motion, maybe a rotating mesocyclone. That's it's the vertical structure of the storm. With altitude, it's not confined to the base of the storm. But again, that's where I mean you do have some saturated air that's getting much colder. That's where you get hail with that, and then that air sinks down. With the forward flanking downdraft that you will likely end up seeing with that. So like that eventually propagates to the ground. So that hail that could be up to quarter size and everything. That's where
Yeah, we got a new tornado watch.
Tornado watch. This is not in Illinois, right?
Oh, this is down here in Alabama. This is in effect about 4 a.m.
Okay. Would that be further up the Tennessee
Louisiana.
Valley?
That runs through. Yeah, that runs through 4 a.m.
Okay. So we'll definitely keep tabs.
We just had a tornado up
Across
there
like
in Pekin,
one
Illinois.
feed and just see what we have.
Somebody had a picture here. Just hit up there in Pekin, Illinois. So let me send you the picture to your
Okay.
or not. So folks, these spin ups and
Okay.
there's a small break. This is going to be an active night as we planned it or not.
Let me open that post real quick.
I could always share it on here. I mean, this is how I did the other day.
Just
Boy, I sent it to your
we got in storm community. Okay. They didn't put a location on it.
Illinois Storm Watch, and I decided here.
Storm community.
Let me
Yeah,
send it to your
they got a
link.
good. Yeah, so that would have been uh
All right, now I sent you a link, so that helped you out now. Somebody popped on.
So this was a rural area. I think
Let me
they were several miles away
see.
from that tornado. If I don't know if you put it on the StreamYard feed or anything, but that is likely what they saw. Driving.
You still
Like
there?
it was that. Yes, I'm there. Hopefully you can hear me. But yes, I mean we've been following this cell for quite some
Yeah, I
time.
can hear you.
The
Did you
wind
get
shear
it?
has been quite sporadic with it. Yes. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Hmm.
What size
Or what size is
was that?
what? Like the it. So yeah, I saw the picture you sent me. You put it in my messenger. I'm following the situation here in Sisney. Looks like you still got. Looks like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a from Jeff area, but that's where it's weaker. So what that tells me, I think the wind, you got a little brief pickup in the wind shear with that further aloft. And now what I'm seeing here, averaging 30 knots or so with that. So I mean, what that tells me is still the threat is there for damaging winds for a time here. Um, and yeah, still some strong downdrafts with that. So that will help enhance the winds here with that tracking through Sisney, Jeffersonville, and Mount Erie. But what I'm also concerned about,
And this
looks like we
storm
have a bow echo here
up by
that will be
Cincinnati is
approaching
really
Olney. It's Sisney. Give me 1 second.
okay. That's yeah, and that probably clip into Salem. So
Don't take
West
them, please.
Salem, I would be ready. Abian. So I send her that message saying she's getting ready to get. She getting ready. Is Abian.
Okay, let's see what we have. Nothing on the guest thread. No, but yeah, we're still following that Boeing segment. I think
Coming towards because that's where Joe Lane lives at.
okay, towards DuQuoin. Obviously, looks like maybe a weak Boeing segment there. No, it's not. Like the wind shear's weak and everything, so it doesn't really look like there's anything severe down towards there. But we're still moving into an environment where there could be some sporadic upticks in wind shear. So if anything, you may get a brief wind gusts and such. But I mean, along the line in general, we're mostly concerned about gusty winds, and they also have outlook mesoscale precip discussion from the Weather Prediction Center. I didn't read the whole thing, but I think we may get some training with some of these storms and the terrain and everything in southern Illinois when you get like some of these heavy showers and storms that kind of hover over the area for a little while, maybe just so in about an hour. Sometimes the soils can be saturated and everything, and you may get some runoff and also concerns with like urban flooding too, because I mean, sometimes a lot of times, especially in older neighborhoods and stuff, I think the storm drains and things like that may eventually back up, or like sometimes they won't always keep up. So what will happen then is that sometimes you may get just a little bit of ponding of water on the streets and stuff. But I think the terrain near like some of those low-lying areas, you may get, you never know. Like sometimes you may get some brief instances where there could be some flash flood concerns. But I mean, we don't expect like a substantial like flash flood event necessarily. Like the storms will be out of here by later tonight. So and behind it, you get those drier conditions. We're not the rain's not going to stick around all night. This is just a fast moving line of storms. You may get some heavy rain, some minor urban flooding could be a side effect, but really we're mostly concerned about the you got that Boeing segment up towards Sisney, now up toward Olney, and what I'm concerned about there is if anything, the wind gusts are mostly just wind gusts that may just brief wind gusts upwards of 60 mph along there. But again, just some broad wind shear up towards there. Doesn't really look like just factoring in the storm motion and everything. It doesn't look tornadic
Yeah, morning.
necessarily. Yeah. Okay. Um, is okay. Wonder if you have anything would this be for like the rest of like this would be Saline County into Gallatin, or no, that's not that's not Saline.
Okay.
Edwards and Wabash counties. Or I no, they probably didn't
No,
expand the
Illinois.
wording there yet.
It's Wayne County.
Wayne County.
All right, and
Oh,
near
okay. This
him
Wayne
or
County
not?
is the county that's already warned. Yeah, I was gonna say they have.
There's 60 miles of wind gusts and quarter size hay with it. So you still could produce, but this one up here by, and it includes Robertson and
Robbins, yeah.
Sand. That is just. So far, we have not seen a tornado warning.
Yeah, probably not
But that
likely.
doesn't.
Probably not likely. We'll end up
Each
seeing
one
additional
of
tornado
these
warnings in Illinois today.
tech show possible Clark County and central Illinois and southeast.
Well, again,
Eagle
by
instruction still could produce 60 miles of wind gusts.
yeah, that just along this line of
Wayne
you're
County.
talking about this would be towards Marshall into the Terre Haute area. They have extended that warning into those areas. I think we're still mostly accounting for we do have a strong downdraft with some strong downdrafts with that thunderstorm complex extending into from Moonshine up to Marshall. Again, the wind shear is a little bit weaker, but you're still seeing a lot of downward forcing with all that. Just the environment, a lot of sinking air, and then that's where you get those downdrafts and it couples in at the ground. That's where you'll likely end up seeing some damaging winds. Some instances of damaging winds there. So just will caution you. You just get indoors and away from any kind of anything that could turn into flying debris. Just get get away from the exterior walls and everything. If you're in any of these severe thunderstorm warnings in general,
Just got some reports from.
That's always
Okay.
something to.
All right. Isaac, I said it. She said it's storming out over there at her house. There, she said it was storming over there, right over there in Albion. Just said it's storming
Okay.
there, and she's under a watch. Watch will last all the way to 11, or you think they'll cancel it before then?
So the severe thunderstorm, they've added, they may have added counties to this initial severe thunderstorm watch. That would include Hamilton, Wayne, White, if I'm not mistaken, Wabash, and Edwards. So you said Albion. You did mention Albion, that it was storming there. Looks like we do have some lightning within 8 miles.
That's what she said.
North of there. There's obviously the main line of storms is still within 15 to 20 miles west of Albion. The main complex that may hold together, produce some brief strong. What? So it may produce some strong, maybe locally briefly severe wind gusts. But other than that, I will advise.
Yeah, and this storm give me some hail.
Yeah. Yeah, I will point out that there could be a hail core with that, maybe dime to quarter size, just estimating what we've been seeing. That storm is had. I don't know if it's still like a healthy updraft. It might be a weakening updraft, and what happens then is it is a weakening updraft. So what that tells me is that now I think we're starting to get some hail, a lot of hail that could be coupling in with that downdraft. So probably, yeah, I was going to say
Mm-hmm.
nickel to quarter size hail, probably in a concentrated area. It kind of wraps into the, the forward flanking downward motion with the thunderstorm, and and eventually it propagates all that winds, with the thunderstorm outflow. Some weak thunderstorm outflow, but then that's, you get those little downdrafts in there that, you get the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter size hail embedded within there, if anything. But again, not everyone in the severe thunderstorm warnings will get 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter size hail, but it's possible just in the polygon that they have outlooked, as we will point out. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, definitely looks like, these are not
Well, right
like
now,
mature. Yeah, these cells do not appear to be like mature by any means. And if anything, maybe expect you could get a brief severe wind gust or two. But I think the wind shear and everything, we've already seen the peak of everything, and it's kind of weakening. But I will still advise that you'll still get some cloud to ground lightning, some heavy rain, some gusty winds. But I mean, I don't expect like a substantial severe threat lasting all the way to 11 p.m. Um, but I mean, I would still pay attention to some of the storms developing downstream too. There
yeah.
may be an area where there's some. It's all really broad, if anything. But I mean, there could be an area coupled in within there with that cell in Tamaroa. It's not really like, I mean, off. It's like at the altitude of the radar. I don't think it's really mixing down at the ground, but I mean, we do have some stronger winds further aloft. It's not really enhancing or like tightening any of the wind shear or anything, but I mean, I will point out at times you may get a
Something we need to
brief wind gust
watch.
or two along the line. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, no warnings for any of any of our other communities that are tagged in here. And I mean, uh, probably not. I cannot guarantee you that that storm will still be severe warned into Wabash, or rather Edwards and Wabash counties. We'll just have to see if that does hold together.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it may be a brief wind gust. It probably won't be severe warned at that time. We'll see what the National Weather Service decides to do. Um, but I mean, I'm not really seeing any significant developments with the, just what I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing on the base velocity products and everything. But I mean, in general, I mean, it's still good to like, take these storms seriously by all means. It may not, we're obviously not seeing like any tight wind shear or anything. But I mean, still a brief wind gust or two could still like, any get away from anything that could become airborne. Out if you're outside, go into a substantial building. Again, like, just like get
I think
inside
you
of
should be
buildings.
fine.
Yeah, and again, just get away from the exterior walls and things like any like uh you know uh just given what we're seeing on radar, these are still like strong to severe, but I mean, these are still strong storms. But I mean, severe when they become severe storms, they would need to be producing wind gusts in excess of 58.
Yeah, and looking at some new model data, Isaac, it's going to high around 48, 46. We're going to get a big cold
Miles
spell.
per
I won't
gust.
roll out upper 20 morning.
Yeah.
This is a strong cold front, Isaac, when we start seeing that, right?
Well, I mean, obviously the low temperatures here today will act like tonight will be in the upper 30s here. So I mean, like I think it's not really that far off. You're probably seeing the temperatures drop.
Yeah, new
I,
tornado wing for Arkansas, Isaac.
but I will point out for our other folks there down there in Arkansas, Mississippi, again, a lot of these communities here, in like the South, we're still seeing a lot of wind shear persisting in those communities. I mean, but I mean, what I mean, I should say ahead of that line, we're likely seeing. I'm just saying we're likely still seeing some lingering surface heating. I mean, just seeing the dynamics and everything with with what we're seeing ahead in that air mass just associated ahead of that line of thunderstorms. But I think you're still getting some surface heating, and get some inflow coupled in with some areas where there's some really tight sporadic wind shear with that. That's where we're seeing all those tornado warned cells. For example, we got one south of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, one that tracked through Pine Bluff earlier. It looks like that is tracking through Clarksdale, Mississippi. Another cell from Humboldt, Tennessee, down towards Jackson, Tennessee, towards Oakland, east of Memphis. That cluster of thunderstorms appears to be capable of producing looks like some 60 mile per hour, 60 to a little bit stronger wind gusts, some tighter velocities with that wind gusts in excess of 60 to
right
70
now.
miles per hour. Yeah, I was going to say in McLeansboro, it definitely looks as if I was going to say, looking at the Evansville radar site here, I was going to say, looks like the thunderstorm complex in relation to McLeansboro, you are like 10 miles away from the thunderstorm. Yeah, now I was going to say storm. So I mean, you're probably hearing some thunder and off in the distance. But I mean, that's this is probably when again, just you're seeing you may be seeing some light rain starting in McLeansboro. However, again, the thunderstorms will
I
likely
hear.
onset. You'll likely see some light rain. Um, uh, and then you get those heavier rains and stronger winds move through the area
Well, a little bit. So I'm going to continue to let
in
this
the
thing
next
stream
several
unless we have
minutes.
any new. So let this thing stream into the all clear. Then I'll shut the thing so I can still have my viewers in here. So
Okay, I'm going to return a phone call real quick. I would suppose, if that warning expires and stuff. On the USA Stormwatch side, we are not in level 2 or level 3 or anything. So, I mean, we're more in like periodic feeds. So, we're not going to keep this stream going for several hours, or we're not going to go like more hours. I think it may be good to like take a break. And then if we get some significant developments on that side, I would stream there exclusively. I think the severe threat is pretty much like it's not. I think the severe threat's close to over in Illinois. So for our Illinois viewers and stuff, I will point out just just be more periodic about it. We're not going to keep the stream going much longer.
we'll
Really, in my
just
opinion.
we'll probably just end the stream right now. We'll probably just let
Yeah, and go back on
the
if there's any
stream
significant developments. Like,
end.
okay, yeah.
If any new ones get entry, will pop on. But right now, I think things are going to calm down.
Okay, we'll see you soon.